Hey guys, it's Surbi Chinte here with SS Multimedia. Today, I'm going to show you how to draw a simple lock of hair using this method in Procreate's basic brushes. So let's get started. First off, you're going to need to pick your base color. This is going to be your base, and basically everything you put on top of this will be kind of like details. So then, after you've picked your base, make sure to draw out your hair base. So I'm just going to be drawing a lock of hair, but you are welcome to draw your whole hair like that. And then you can color it in, or you can keep going drawing strands. I'm just going to go like that. And then what you'll do is you put it on alpha lock. The reasoning behind this is because if you smudge without alpha lock on, it can become kind of see-through like this. And then eventually you won't be able to see much of it anymore. So put it on alpha lock. Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the shadows. So lower your color, so then it's something darker. It can be slightly darker, it can be a lot darker. Depends on what kind of hair you're going for. I'm going to go for pretty much a lot darker because I want my shadows to be more defined. And then you can start drawing the strands in the direction of the way you want to go. Like this or like this. It really depends on what you're expecting from your hair. And if you want more strands, you can always decrease the size of the brush. The brush we're using is the Studio Pen from inking. And if you want less strands and you want them to be more cartoony, you can add a bigger line. I'm going to be in the middle, so it's not too big, not too small. And then, yeah, like I said, figure out the direction. Mine is going to be something like this. Like that. Like that. And after you've put in as many strands as you desire, you can click on the smudging and go to touch-ups and short hair. And then after you put in as many strands as you desire, you can go to smudging and short hair. From here, you carefully make sure that the size is not too large. You carefully go over the lines and smudge them like this. And you continue doing that and make sure not to smudge too much, otherwise the lines will not be visible anymore. And make sure that you smudge in the direction of your hair. Now that we're done smudging, I'm going to go back to inking, and I'm going to go slightly higher, not to the point where it's the original color, but still darker, but not as dark as before. And I'm going to continue adding some shadows like this, and you can put in as many as you want. You do not have to do this step over again. I just prefer to because then I can have a more detailed hair. It's also good to have a hair palette like here, and you can have like a certain color hair, and you can have all your colors that you use for them, and you can always refer back if you need to add something on. So I'm going to continue drawing my strands, and now that I'm done with that, we're going to go back to inking, and we're going to go like this. Now that we're done smudging our hair again, we are going to move on to a slightly lighter color than the original color. So the original color is something around there, and I'm going to move it lighter so that I can have more of a highlight. Then you can put your highlights wherever you wish. I will be making slightly lighter. And pretty much wherever your light is supposed to fall, if the light is falling on this side, make sure to put the highlights on that side. And yeah, you continue drawing your strands, and you can put in as many as you wish. But make sure that if you're doing them, you'd like them to be as continuous as possible, because then it looks more fluid like that. And then you finish that and you blend. Now we're finished smudging our highlights. If you feel like you can't really see your shadows anymore, that's completely okay. Because as you can see in mine, my shadows have kind of disappeared. And what we're gonna do to fix that is you can either repeat the other two steps. I prefer that method because it's much easier and looks better. But if you don't feel like doing that again, you can make a new layer and then go back to the darkest one. Then put your shadows where you like right here, depending on what kind of hair you're doing. All right, so we're done. And now that we're done, we can click on this wand with like a little sparkles. It's called adjustments. Then you click on gauge and blur. And then if you have this option, click on layer, not pencil. And then blur it as much as you like. See, this is how it was originally, and as you continue blurring, become less and less defined, and then you have your shadows. See, this is the difference. And you can do that as many times as you wish, and I would recommend going down after you do that, like that. And I'm gonna repeat that one more time because I feel like I need a slightly more shadows. So I'll see you after I'm done. All right, I'm done. So as you can see, I made a few adjustments there, and you're always welcome to do that. And if you like your hair just as it is, go ahead and leave it. But if you want more of a glowing effect, I'll show you how to do that. So what you're gonna do is there's a few ways to do this, depending on what you're looking for. If I just want maybe lighter blonde hair, I can just increase that, but not too blonde, so that you can like still see the brown. I will go like this, like that. Pretty much any place I highlighted, because then this will shine a little bit more. And then I will go to the layers, make sure this is on a new layer, and go to the end and click on add. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to gauge and blur and layer and blur it. So you have something like this. This method does not always look the best, but you're always welcome to do it. Another thing you can do is you can copy the whole layer and click on paste. And then alpha lock it, click on the N again, and go to add. Then you have like this perfect blonde hair right here. And then you can make whatever adjustments you like to the layer, like this, because you see some places are looking like a little smudged and not super great. You can always do that, and then it'll look better if you add this on top. Maybe decrease the opacity so that it's not glowing too much. Always looks better than on here because the highlights are a little bit lighter and brighter, so it looks better there. And then make sure that you have the original layer underneath. This is the original one, because if you don't, and especially on a white background, the add layer can kind of disappear like that. So make sure you have the original layer in between. You can always merge this one down like there, but if you want to have it without the add layer, you can leave it too. I'm going to merge it down, but make sure not to merge the add layer and the normal layer, because then it'll all turn normal like this. or you'll have like kind of like a background. It doesn't look great. So I would not recommend merging it down, because depending on situation, this will either turn normal or you'll have like a kind of not great background. So after you're done merging it down, always alpha lock and change what you need to by using the eraser tool and right here. And since this is on the original layer, I go down to the original layer and erase. But make sure not to erase too much, because then if I erase this, it'll all disappear. So that's how you create some basic hair. And if you are not happy with your hair, you can always go to alpha lock again and color drop. And depending on the color and where you color drop it, it'll become darker or lighter, depending on what you like. Like right here, if I do it there, you can still see the highlights, but the hair base itself is darker. So that's all for this video, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more content like this.